I don't usually do this. Actually, I seldom do this, which is talk about things that I don't enjoy. Not that because I don't want to upset the brands, and not that I want to be always positive and everything is perfect in the perfect world. It's a struggle to make a video about a product that it don't inspire me. But as you see on the title, what I'm talking about is these two products, Nikon ZF and ZF-C actually, and the Pentax 17. They are super positive online. Everyone loves this. So it kind of like I feel like I need to provide a balance maybe. I don't hate them, but well, okay, it's so positive online, it kind of annoys me, alright? So keyboard warriors, have your keyboard ready? Here we go. Let's start with the Pentax 17. Well, this Pentax 17, I received this quite a while before the announcement, actually around the same time that Kai received this. I still never make a video about it. I have been putting up making anything about it. It's simply because it's just so uninspiring. I don't hate it, I just not that into it. Well, I've never been a fan of Pentax. I always think that camera doesn't really look that good. I mean, yeah, some people, I mean, not some, a lot of people say that how the camera looks like doesn't really matter. So why would people actually buy a camera that looks nice like this? Looks doesn't matter, right? So when this actually arrived, I'm kind of like really excited, but then kind of worried because Pentax, they don't make good looking camera, in my opinion, in my really objective opinion. So I open it up and then I take it out. It's like, what is that? I'm sorry, I have to say, it's ugly. With so much good thing people online talk about this, I feel like, I'm crazy. Nobody thought this is ugly. There's something wrong with me. Kai said there are almost like 17 different textures on it. I mean, in front there's fake leather, and then the back, diamond shape, and then stripe, and then square, and then what are you thinking? And then it's plasticky and flimsy as well. Hear that? Made with plastic doesn't have to be plasticky. Just like this, the Olympus View from 1990s, I think this sounds a bit different. This is already a pretty plasticky camera, but this is still better. Well, let me unload the film and take it out first. I actually load some film in it and never took any photo. I think I can put some tension on the rewind here. Well, actually because of its fully manual winding mechanism that makes this possible. Should be fine. You usually waste a little bit of the beginning anyway in every camera. Oh yeah, it's so flimsy that in Kai's video, he actually, within one row, he managed to already, sounds like he broken it or something, or the teeth for the frame sliding off or something. I mean, obvious it's not Kai's first experience of film camera. It's not like he don't know what he was doing. And he wrote a book about film photography as well. He must be a bit of an expert. Right after the initial shock, well, the build quality isn't even the biggest issue with this camera. Okay, maybe not issue, but just I take issue with. Now when I first received this camera, that's one thing that confused me immediately is that the P mode and auto mode. I mean, we have been seeing this on digital camera, like P and auto was different. They're both pretty auto. But on the digital camera, P mode usually more basic program mode, which auto mode give you scene recognition or something. Now we got this confusing on a film camera as well. Especially when I first received this, we don't have the full instruction manual. So we have to figure out what's all this about by ourselves, which is we used to it with pre-release camera, but this is pretty weird because I first tried this out and then there's this is zone focusing. This is pretty funny, which is there's a foot distance as well. I love this. Actually, at the bottom there is meter and feet distance as well. But then I realized the lens isn't focusing. What's it happening? This is, and then I find out I have to half press before it focuses. That is so weird. Now this is a manual focusing lens which need a half press. Okay, I figured this out. Yeah, okay, this is weird, but does it ever autofocus? So I put it to auto, and it looks like it focused, but it always focuses to the same place. Also, that means when you put it in auto, this focusing ring doesn't mean anything at all. It's irrelevant. I'm sure this will confuse the hell out of a lot of beginners. I'm sure a lot of people would buy this camera, put in auto, and still trying to do focusing. Even Kai, in his video, he confused this initially as well.
So the macro in auto it still doesn't do macro?
No. Especially in the viewfinder, you can see these icons. That's a lens that look at this icon, which is interesting. I quite like that, and it's useful to look at what you are focusing. I mean the focusing distance. But when you're on auto, you still see those icons large in the viewfinder, which doesn't mean anything. Yeah, you can learn that. Oh, when I put an auto, I can learn to ignore that. But it just annoys me that when on a camera, and then there's a indication on something, but then it's not working. It's irrelevant. I mean, yeah, I know that this camera isn't for me. Basically, a camera geek. I want to know exactly what it is doing, which mode is what, and I want controls. I want more controls. It's for beginners. But then, how would a beginner decide whether to use P mode or auto mode? What's the difference between P mode and auto mode? What is P mode anyway? There's the bokeh mode as well. It's kind of like the ZV-1, really. What is it called? It's not called bokeh mode, but it's for taking photo with a lot of bokeh. Except that you are not going to get a lot of bokeh. Okay, yeah, I'm a bit too serious about this camera, and this camera isn't really for me. This camera is just for fun. Come on, don't be so serious about this. But for $500 US, you can have a lot more fun. Maybe not a lot more fun, but you pay a lot less to have the same amount of fun. For example, like this Olympus Pen EED. They both are half-frame cameras. They both manual focus, and the Olympus Pen has aperture control, aka bokeh mode. Or you can get this tiny Minox 35. It's kind of like this size. And that is full frame. It has manual focus, just like this camera, and aperture control, aka bokeh mode. Also, if you are thinking about getting this camera and you are going to just use it as auto anyway, I just want to have a film camera, have fun, then there are a sea of fully automatic film camera on the market. Just like this, auto focus, auto everything. You just turn it on, take a photo, put it away. Simple as that. Actually, this is smaller than the Pentax 17, and this is full frame. And all that is why I'm so excited. The coming up Rolly 35 AF is definitely smaller than this. It's much more solid. That one is actually metal construction. It has autofocus with laser. Yeah, I can go on. I mean, $800. It's a bargain. But what isn't a disappointment is NordVPN I have been using for a long time, and the sponsor of this video. NordVPN can protect your privacy as well, especially when you are traveling. You connect through your ISP or Wi-Fi to NordVPN, and then NordVPN connects you to your destination website. So your ISP or the hotel Wi-Fi never know where you are visiting. They only know that you are connecting to the NordVPN server. And the destination website don't get your IP, they only get the NordVPN IP address. And now they have Threat Protection Pro as well. They warn you about dangerous websites, scan your device for dangerous apps, and scan for any malware while you're downloading anything. It is risk-free free to try out NordVPN with the link in the description down below. When you sign up for 2 years, you got free 4 months extra service. When you try out and you don't like it, you can cancel within 30 days and get all your money back. Basically, it's a free trial. Alright, more people to upset Nikon ZF fans. I mean, actually, I get it. I get it that people want a digital version of their favorite old film camera. I mean, if Olympus or OM system going to make a digital version of my favorite OM1, I would be over the moon. Although they can't use Olympus name anymore, so... Now first, this is a really beautiful retro looking Nikon camera with all the dials. I like the sound of the button, the dial clicking. But then, there's no aperture ring. What? I have to use a dial, an electronic dial to control the aperture? That is just disappointing. It feels wrong. The Nikon 50 f1.8D was probably the last Nikon lens with aperture ring in 2002. It was fine back then because for years it have been all the cameras used dials to control aperture and shutter speed electronically anyway. But Nikon realized that people like retro looking cameras, so they released the DF as well. At least the DF you can use D lens on the DF to use the aperture ring on the DF. But now with Nikon we have mirrorless set camera, set mounts, but then they don't have a single set mount lens with aperture ring. So now we've got this issue with a retro camera. Oh, lovely dials, and then where's the aperture ring? You have to use dial. Also, PASM mode on this camera. Well, I guess it's difficult to make a modern camera with manual dials. I mean, how do you have manual dials and then you still have digital shooting mode? Hang on, someone already did that perfectly 13 years ago. Pull it out, you set the value you want and take picture. There's no need to think about PASM mode. So other than there's no aperture ring to complete the retro feeling, I just annoyed that, I look at the dial, but it could mean nothing at all. Whatever the value you put it on. I know there are plenty of film camera before that there is an auto switch. Just like, for example, the Olympus OM4, when you put it to auto, the shutter speed ring doesn't do anything. But then now it's all digital. There's no more mechanical limitation or no more compatibility issue. And wait, that's worse. You have to go into the camera menu to set auto ISO on or off. Okay, that's only half true because by default you have to go into camera menu setting to turn on and off ISO auto. For example, it is ISO auto, but how do you turn off ISO auto? You can't do it here. There's no ISO button. So if you even go to C, there's no auto on or off. Here, you have to go into the menu. ISO, yeah, here, yeah, now you can turn off. But there are two ways you can make this easier. That you can add to this I menu here. Let's see on the dial, and then here, bring up the I menu again and select this. Now this behaves more like a usual Nikon camera. Another way is to customize one of these buttons into an ISO button because there's no ISO button on this camera. Why? Because it will be quite awkward to have this camera having an ISO dial and then there's another ISO button, isn't it? Or they could just put auto on the ISO dial. That perfectly solves this problem, but no, they can't do that. So you have to go into there, customize control, yeah. In this way, you can set your manual ISO value with the dial, or if you set it to C, now you can use the ISO button, just like any other Nikon camera now. So you buy this NF and set it to behave just like any other Nikon camera, and this is become useless. And if you mount an old non-CPU lens on it, you don't have S mode at all as well. Okay, let me explain. Yeah, for example, this is this is not an old lens, it's a new lens, but it doesn't have electronic contact, no CPU. So now, yeah, I have to think about, oh, I'm using A mode, and then now this is disabled. Yeah, the first time I used this, I thought I want to control shutter speed, so I put it to S mode. No, this is still disabled. Because I imagine by Nikon's logic, because S mode, it has to control the aperture. Now when it can't control the aperture, it's stuck at A mode. For some reason, I set it to S mode, and this now in A mode. It don't give you an error or whatever. It's just on A mode. I mean, with a usual digital camera, you just look at the screen for the settings. For Fujifilm, you look at the dials and those are the settings. But with the setup and setup C, you have more to think about what mode you are in, which dials is actually active, and sometimes even the mode dials, you have to think about when it points to S mode, is it actually in S mode? But before the end, let me provide a bit of balance that I've tried the Z8, Z9, Z6 Mark III. They are all seriously brilliant cameras. This is actually quite a difficult video to produce for me. I had actually changed my script many times, write and rewrite. Not that I worry about the hate I'm going to get them anyway, but I don't want the hate, which is because I didn't get my reason across right. Because it's quite hard to explain why I don't like them. It's quite subtle about, oh, the design decision, that kind of thing. But I want to make this video because it's true that I said that I want to provide a balance to the force, which on the internet, the mostly really positive about these two cameras. I want to say the other side of the story or something. If this camera fits you, that's great. To be honest, that's totally fine. What's important is that it is not because some so and so say it is good or some so and so say it's bad. What important is that you read, watch, whatever, and think before you come to your own decision on these two cameras. So that's it. That's it for this video. And let me know. I hope some of you agree with me, or just comment down below say that I'm crazy.